Hi there, this is Lady Shell. I'd like to welcome you to my brand new series, which I'm calling Fantasy Grounds Tips for Beginners. I've compiled 25 tips, each with its own description in the title, so that you can look at the playlist and see which tips that you would be most interested in watching. The videos themselves will be from about 3 to 10 minutes long, so if you don't have a lot of time but still want to learn a little bit about Fantasy Grounds, these tips should be helpful. Note that if you're a long-time user of Fantasy Grounds, you may not find this as interesting, as I'm aiming my tips towards brand new users and to give them a look at what Fantasy Grounds can do for their gaming. So sit back, relax, and hopefully you'll learn something new. Now, I have been showing you the login screen as I was giving you my intro to this tip. The tip today is about setting up your table for playing in a game. Now, we're not saying that this is the only way that you can set up your table. You can do whatever you like, however things work the best for you. But we have found that this formula of how to set up the chat window and everything is very successful at having everything loaded in a place where you have easy access to things. So I'm going to load my campaign. This is a brand new campaign, so this is what your table will look like also when you load up a brand new campaign. And I will be closing the intro pop-up that it gives you because I don't need to set that up. And then I have another pop-up that is for a screensaver or a window saver rather. And I'm going to be closing that too. This is the campaign setup. I'm going to close this because we don't need to do anything there. And this I'm going to close because that shows you what the table looked like the previous time that you were on this table. Now, I have done one thing that is in addition to the way it would look for a brand new campaign, and that is to turn on the dice tower right here. And I did that by turning it on in the options menu, which I won't go into now because that is not part of this tip, but I will show you in a later video how to use the dice tower. Now, I right click and you can see there's a little lock up here, and if you click on that, you will be able to move the chat window around like so. Now, it's easier for me if I delete the text in the chat window because sometimes when I go to move the window, it likes to grab the text and then show the text, and it's just a big mess. So what I've done is I have left clicked and grabbed the bottom of the chat window, and I am making it shorter. Now I'm going to grab it again with my left mouse clicked, and I'm going to drag it down to make the left side equal to the modifiers. Then I am going to left click and drag the right side of the window to make it wider. And you'll see why I'm choosing this width. And what I want to do now is I want to make it so that I don't accidentally move it somewhere else. So I'm going to right click again. And then I'm going to click on the lock position. And now you can see I'm trying to drag it and I can't. I want to take the dice tower and I'm going to right click, do the unlock position, and I'm going to move this over right underneath the chat window. And then I'm going to lock it in place. And the reason that we suggest this position is that it's close to your dice. So if you're rolling some dice, you can put it easily into the chat window. And it's easily accessible. Okay, now, when you're in a game, you're going to want to have a combat tracker on your screen also. we recommend putting the combat tracker on top of the chat window. The combat tracker can be found on your table with the crossed swords up here at the top, and you can always see what these actual icons are by hovering over them. You will see a tooltip telling you. So this is the combat tracker. So I'm going to take this and then I'm going to place it over my chat window. I'm going to move it up a little bit, but I'm going to leave some space up at the top because when players join the table, their portraits will be at the top of the screen here. Now, as you can see, my combat tracker is a little bit wider than my window, so I'm going to adjust my window because I like things to be even. And then I'm going to lock it again, and then I think I will move the dice tower over too because I like things even. And if you saw that I erased the text, to do that as a DM, you would right click and on this radial menu choose the clear or the erasure symbol. Now the combat tracker is going to have your players and your NPCs, so it's good to have a lot of room on here to place things. So basically this is how we say to set up your table. However, one more thing, if you're going to be playing in a game, you're going to have a character sheet. Now I don't have any characters on here because it's a brand new campaign, but this is how we suggest you put your character sheet. Line it up at the top of your combat tracker. Left click on the bottom of your character sheet and stretch it down so that it meets the bottom of the window there. So the reason that we do this is because especially on your actions tab, I don't have a full character sheet, but you'll have your weapons and your spells and various things, and a lot of didn't mean to do that. A lot of text goes on this page, so having a long sheet will make it so that you don't have to scroll so much up and down. And that is how I would suggest that you set up your table. And then when the game loads, when your DM starts loading maps, you could have your maps. Do I have any maps on this? I'm not sure. I only have the player's handbook open currently, so I'm just gonna open. It's not a map, but let's open this. Oh, that is not a good. Well, okay. Let's pretend that this is a map. So your map would have this amount of space in it, and that makes it a good, it's a good setup. You can have your map here, you do your moves here, you do your combat tracker, you click to move to the next person. It's all set up. So I hope you found this video helpful. I hope you will watch the rest of the videos that I have in this series. And if you have any comments, please leave them below. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.